Nirdigandha, New Horizons for Performing Arts. Prakash Raj in conversation with Vivek Shanbhag.
Good morning. It's an honor to be in conversation with Prakash, and we are friends for over 4 decades. It's really wonderful to be in conversation with him in this festival. And Prakash is a versatile actor. I don't have to say anything about his acting, but I certainly want to say a few words about the kind of work that he's been doing in creating spaces for new experiments, new ideas. And when I say spaces, it is both mind space as well as physical space. So let me straight away get into the conversation. And we'll talk about his new passion, Nirdigandha. Prakash, how did this idea come about?
Hi everyone. Hi. Nirdigandha. See, I come from theatre. So after a point of time I was thinking that how do I get back to theatre? And I was pondering for 2 years that will I come back to act on stage? Because an actor who left stage and have not revisited theatre for the last 3 decades. And then I was pondering on different scripts. Then I have some good friends around with me who said, Prakash, are you still desperate to be an actor? That hit me really strong. And then coming back to theatre, I thought, what is my relevance? And the relevance in that, it is, I come to theatre, I will act, and I will say, okay, Prakash acted well, or he is not that energy in theatre. That was not working. Then somebody suggested me to start an academy, a theatre acting school. I felt too old to start that, I'm still learning, and how do I teach people? Then as I was thinking, I realized that I think what I could do, what my relevance of 3 decades or 4 decades of cinema and theatre would be to create a space which the next generation will have an exposure for what I had. Whether it was Anantmurthy sir or Lankesh or Tejasvi or the literature or the movement. Then the idea of the incubator came. And before I talk about the incubator, I would like to show you a small 3-minute video of how it is looking like. And I hope, can you see the screen there? The visual? No, what do I do? There will be subtitled, it will be in little Kannada, but the visual itself will tell you the space I have created, and then I'll talk about the space. If somebody can't see it, please make an effort to see with this daylight. Can you play that? Yeah, with the volume. ಹೀಗೆ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಕೂತಿದ್ದೆ. ಅನಿಕೇತನ ಓದ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. 100 ಮತದ ಹೊಟ್ಟ ತೂರಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ತತ್ವದೆಲ್ಲೆ ಮೀರಿ ನಿರ್ದಿಗಂತವಾಗಿ ಏರಿ ಅಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ನಿಂತೆ. ಇಷ್ಟು ದಿನ ಕಾಣಿಸಿದ ನಿರ್ದಿಗಂತ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತು ನನಗೆ. ಎಂಥ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಆದ ಕಾಯಿನೇಜ್ ನಡೆಯೋದು. ಅವ್ರು ಇಡೀ ಲೈಫ್ನ ಫಿಲಾಸಫಿನ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಐ ಥಾಟ್ ದಟ್ ಇದು ನಮ್ಮ ಈ ರಂಗಪಯಣ ಏನಿದೆ, ಈ ರಂಗಭೂಮಿ ಏನಿದೆ, ಈ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ, ಅದು ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ಅರ್ಥ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ ಅನಿಸ್ತು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಿರ್ದಿಗಂತ. ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಒಂದು 25 ಜನ ಹುಡುಗರು ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರು ಬರೀ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾಟಕ ಕಲಿಯೋದು, ಪುಸ್ತಕ ಓದೋದು ಅಲ್ಲ. ಅವರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತೋಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಕೃತಿ ಒಂದು ಸಂಭಾಷಣೆ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಪ್ರಭೇದದ ಹಕ್ಕಿಗಳು ಬರುತ್ತವೆ, ಚಿಟ್ಟೆಗಳು ಬರುತ್ತವೆ, ಜೇನು, ಅವು ಮಾತಾಡ್ಕೊಳುತ್ತವೆ. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಏನೋ ಎನ್ರಿಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಈ ಸ್ಪೇಸನ್ನು. ಅಂದರೆ ಆ ಸಂಭಾಷಣೆ, ಆ ಸಂವಾದನ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು, ಅದನ್ನು ಅರ್ಥೈಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು, ಅದರಿಂದ ಎನ್ರಿಚ್ ಆಗೋದು ಭಾಳ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿರೋ ರಂಗನ ತಿಟ್ಟು ಹಾಗೆ ನಿರ್ದಿಗಂತ ಒಂದು ರಂಗದ ತಿಟ್ಟು. ಇದು ಶಾಲೆ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಆಲೋಚನೆ ಇರುವ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ವಾಕ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೈಫಿಂದ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ, ಹಂಚ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಕಾನ್ವರ್ಸೇಷನ್ಗಳು, ಸಂವಾದಗಳು. ಈ ಮೂಲಕ ಇದನ್ನು ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ, ಅದನ್ನು ಅರ್ಥೈಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ, ಬದುಕನ್ನು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಒಂದು ಗ್ರಹಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ಬೆಳೆಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದು ರಂಗದ ತಿಟ್ಟು, ರಂಗನ ತಿಟ್ಟು, ಈ ನಿರ್ದಿಗಂತದ ಸ್ಪೇಸು. ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಕೃತಿಯ ಜೊತೆ ಸಂಭಾಷಣೆ, ನಮ್ಮೊಳಗೆ ನಾವು ಸಂಭಾಷಣೆ, ಈ ಥರದ್ದೊಂದು ಸಂವಾದ ಭಾಳ 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 ಮುಖ್ಯ ಅಲ್ವೇ ನಮಗೆ? ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಪದ ಇದೆ, ಇನ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಿಟ್ ಅಂತ. ಭಾಳ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಪದ ಅದು. ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಯಾಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ತಂಗುದಾಣದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಅದು ನಮ್ಮ ಡೆಸ್ಟಿನೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ನಮ್ಮ ಗುರಿ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಸ್ಥಳದ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿ ಏನಂದರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಯಾಣ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ಒಂದು ಸಲ ತಿರುಗಿ ನೋಡೋಕ್ಕೆ, ಮುಂದಿನ ಪ್ರಯಾಣಕ್ಕೆ ತಯಾರಿ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಚಿಕ್ಕದೊಂದು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಿಟ್. ನಿರ್ದಿಗಂತ ಅದು. ಅಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾರೋಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋ ರೆಕ್ಕೆಗಳನ್ನು ಕೊಡೋದಷ್ಟೇ, ಹಾರೋ ದಿಗಂತಗಳು ಅವ್ರದ್ದು. ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಲೆಟ್ ದೆಮ್ ಫ್ಲೈ.
Apart from many things, the other talent Prakash has is designing. What you just now saw is all designed by him. And you must visit to, you must see it to believe the kind of design, the kind of taste with which this space is built. Now, Prakash, let's go a step forward. And you talked about the idea of how the idea came about. Can you just talk a little more about the journey itself?
So when I wanted to do Nirdigandha, it was just COVID time, so I did not know what to do. So I just took my tent and I had a land in Mysore, Srirangapatna. Because I knew with the sort of politics, with the sort of narratives we bring in, I can't depend on governments or some big man who will decide what our ideology, what thoughts are. So I had this 5-acre land, so I just went. And as I started designing, because I come from theatre, I could see children rehearsing, the youngsters sitting, their chatting spaces, where they will sleep. How in theatre farming is very important, architecture is so important, food is so important, a library is so important. And more importantly, I wanted to create a space where youngsters will have the freedom to fail. You know? We need a space where we fail, because what is happening is we finish our diplomas or certain experiences or studies, then you're thrown into a world where you have to show results. And then what we did was, I sat with certain people and I said, instead of the new kids, what is happening to those theatre actors, directors, writers, young people who have finished in NSD, in Rangayana, in Sanehalli, in Ninasam? What are the kids doing? They're going to their districts and the theatre was so poor. There's so much of malnutrition. Then I picked up those people who had the passion, wanted to do, brought them. So in Nirdigandha, we give a fellowship. I give a fellowship to them and they stay there and they structure a play. So what was important was to create a humus. You know, every tree, every seed, even though looks this small, it is pregnant with a big tree. But what is important is, does it get the land, the earth? We are only focusing on trees. No, that is not it. For them to, grow, to excel. So Nirdigandha is a humus earth wherein these seeds, bloom. And this is what I wanted. And I wanted these youngsters to go through the process of writing a new play. Because Nirdigandha has decided that we will not do already written old plays anymore. Because I want today's youngsters' aspirations, their perceptions, their struggle, their expression to be a part. So we have almost now got 10 productions have been ready with that. So that way we are so relevant. And that became the process for me to start. And I would like to talk about the first play we did called Gayagalu. Because we were talking and he said, Prakash, why do you all need why do you all need writing? You can do yourself.
Now, there was a famous critic called Kirtanath Kurtkoti. When people were saying that there are new plays in Kannada, he said, you open the newspaper and on the front page you will find 3 plays. I mean, theatre is something that is, that has to be contemporary and responding to what is around us. And this is exactly what Prakash said when we were talking about the new plays, that it must evolve. And the beauty of that is that in this space, it is not that just the theatre people come and talk about theatre and this, what he believes is that, and which is rightly so, is that there is the resources and the inspiration has to come from several walks of life. And you need artists, you need thinkers, you need critics, you need writers, you need actors, you need even common people who are around, and people with folk knowledge, people with singers. So it is a space where he brings together all these people, they exchange ideas and then something incubates. So which is very wonderful. Prakash, you talk about the first...
the first play we thought, Manipur happening, Israel happening, Palestine happening. We're talking about violence, communal violence or fascist violence. So what do we do? Then for these 10 to 20 children, 20 kids, young boys and girls, they were in the fellowship. So we curated certain texts and gave them that how this has been there through the ages. So we brought in Pirandello's War, a play, gave one portion of it which depicts what happened in the First World War. Then we have a great writer, Jnanapith Award winner writer, Rashtrakavi Kuvempu, who had written Smashana Kurukshetram. So we took one text of it, which was the effect of the Second World War. Then during partition, we have Sadat Hassan Manto, so we took his Hanifun short story. Then there's a very great theoretician and writer, Krishnamurti Hanur, who had written on the 18th century Tippu, where there was a biography of Dalavai. And then these were 5 different scripts, and then we blended with the greatest protest poetry which had come across the world, from Neruda to Syed Ludhianvi to today's poets. And we translated them, made music into them. And through these, we were telling people that, the different facets of violence through the evolution and how do we react. And I think that was a very touching. So, and then we wanted to do that, and we did not want only public shows. So we bought 2 buses, and they traveled across Karnataka to every district. So one day was a public show. Public show was not very important to me because in theatre they come 200 people, 150 people come. But what we did was, we did another abridged version of it called Kavyaranga, and we took it to universities and colleges. And I think we reached around 1 lakh students across in 2 months. And after the whole dialogue with the students and the impact of the theatre and so much of asking questions. See, for me, asking question of having liberated myself with so much experience is different. But to unearth that just asking, that questions of which is relevant to them, their anger, their anguish, I think that layered. And of course, we had our own protests, that wherever I went, they came and put cow urine, gomutras and all those things. But that works. And I said, at least you put gomutra down instead of drinking, and I'm happy about it. But this exposure was very important. And from that, there is a song which came, which we talked about Manipur. And I'll just show you that 1.5 minute song. Can you play that Manipur song? This was done by the students themselves, their own production.
ನರಳಿದ ಈ ನೀರವ ಬೀದಿಗಳು ಹೊಸಕಿದ ಅರ್ಥ ಅರಳಿದ ಹೂವುಗಳು ಭವಿಷ್ಯದ ಒಪ್ಪಂದಗಳು ಕೇಳುತ್ತಿದ್ದಾವೆ ಕೇಳುತ್ತಿದ್ದಾವೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನೆರವ ಯಾಚಿಸುತ್ತಿಹಳು ಹವ್ವಾಳ ಮಗಳು ಯಶೋಧೆಯ ಮಗಳು ರಾಧೆಯ ಮಗಳು ಜುಲೇಖಾಳ ಮಗಳು ಪ್ರವಾದಿಯ ಉಮ್ಮಲ್ ಸಹಾಯಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಕಾಯುತ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ
This is what purely the youngsters, this generation created it. I can see, and then this is where, for me, my way of politics is that, I get the stage to speak. I get to be popular, and I have people who find reasons to love me. But to give a space for the voices of this generation youngsters, give a platform, give a humus land, wherein it becomes their whole thought process. It is in them. You can't be disheartened by this younger generation. And this is what they have created. And the whole process of 2 months of around reaching out to and having conversation with more than 1 lakh students and having public performances, every district is different. Imagine what happens within them, the confidence and the strength. This was something very wonderful we did, and this is what we are doing. Nirdigandha is not just a theatre company or drama company. That is not necessary today. It is a voice, it is a language, it is my way of just asking. And yeah.
And also, it is what you saw is something. The Nirdigandha is also a physical space where people can, the troops can come. 30 people can stay there for months together, be together, and then generate these productions. Prakash, would you like to talk about that interactions and process? How, I mean, like for example, describe a typical day. Describe a typical day from morning. What happens. They work there. They work in the fields. They also do exercises.
The work in the field is, these youngsters get up in the morning, so I tell them that, this is not a 5-star hotel, okay? And there's a way of life, because you see me, I do farming, I do architecture, I do so many other things. On a normal single day is they get up in the morning and they clean up their space, Nirdigandha themselves, their rooms, the hall, the theatre, the stage you saw. Then they go out into the fields and we grow our own vegetables. So those spend time, they have a conversation with the earth among themselves. There's a river, they have their morning exercises, yoga, whatever it is. And they help the cook in little cutting and things like that and bring in their recipes. And they start their rehearsals. And by lunch, breakfast, lunch, post-lunch, I have made them lazy like me. I said, go to sleep, 2 to 4. So they've got that bad habit with me. So that till 4:30 it will be very silent. They come back again, the rehearsals. And there's no little till what time they go, because they have the freedom. There is no warden to tell them what they want to. We give them a timeline. And they have a lot of texts to read. Other than that, whatever the production is happening, we have great people like wonderful wildlife photographers like Kripakar Senani, a writer called Jayant Kaikini, a great writer called Devnur Mahadeva or Krishnamurti Anur. And I'm requesting him also. He had come the other day. So a lot of resource person keep coming, and these youngsters get to interact with them, ask the questions they want to do. Achyuta the actor, so many actors coming in. And anybody who comes to Mysore, I've asked Nasiruddin Shah is coming down. So that these youngsters get to sit around on a campfire or in the evening or, talk. and get the exposure, ask their questions. So, and we have readings, and we are also created a voice library, which in 2 months I'll be releasing. These youngsters who do a 45-day fellowship, they have to record and leave something back, like the great stories, great poetries, great articles written. So we have a voice bank now, a voice library which will come out, wherein even if you're not in Nirdigandha, from somewhere else you can access to our musics, and I've got them certain cameras so that they can shoot the film themselves. Lot of interactions like this happen. So they have a way of life. They have their own exercises. I tell them health is very important because actors only investment in his body. They fine tune themselves, and I let them have the farming of the mind. This is a space, something like that, and they take something back and leave something back. And that is one single day in Nirdigandha.
Also, there is something important that Prakash you are doing, which is to prepare the future generation. While we talked about colleges and universities and where we, that he has been taking this place, but there is something, to my mind, it's most significant. The work that he has just begun to do with schools. And can you please talk about it?
It is called Shala Ranga. I was wondering what are happening to government schools. So then we did a data and we found 833 residential schools in Karnataka, across Karnataka. In the name of Morarji Desai schools, Vanake Obaba schools, Ambedkar schools, where children from poorer communities or lesser communities, whatever they say, they come there around 200, 300. Students live in a hostel and they have no exposure at all. Other than the holidays, they go back home like other children, and they stay there day in and day night. I thought that is a wonderful space to reach. So Shala Ranga, we have made a 5-hour production. A 5-hour production. So we have called specialists in actors, directors, youngsters again, so that they came, and the last 2 months we have created a beautiful tableau where we have created around 15 children's songs. We have made around 10 children's plays from standard 5th to 10th. So 8th, 9th, we have different stories. From 5th to 6th, we have created around, accumulated around 30 theatre games, which helps them to learn logic, science, and easier. And these 15 songs, we have made it a karaoke version. They're tongue twisters, wherein later, they can practice it, turn it, and in the process, try to make their own plays and own things. So for this, we went to a workshop, and I'll show you the workshop first and then explain the whole process. This was a workshop for the actors and the team, which are now going to travel and reach out 2.5 lakh children in 1 year. There's going to be 4 teams which is traveling. So this is 1 year curriculum is ready. I'll explain about the curriculum. Then the 2nd year, 3rd year. So I'm looking at a 5th standard child who comes into a government school or a residential school. He's exposed to theatre, literature, games, and to a very relevant questioning for the next 5 years through theatre, music, and their games. And for the process we went through, we brought in certain resource persons who worked on creating this, this process. Please show that workshop. So you'll get an idea how intensely we are working on that.
Staying in a space which is curated towards a praise of an ode to theatre, with its vision, with its work, with its pedagogy, but also in a space which is done with so much taste and love for greenery and a vision of a more slower and harmonious living.
So don't overcomplicate it specific. What did you look at the body of the spirit? How is it different from this other body?
I took a facilitation workshop on designing a theatre and education workshop for the participants. our biggest aim was to not as a space of giving an itinerary or an inventory of games, but to have them, all the participants, look at it from two levels. One level as seeing these games which are enjoyable to them as participants, but second also what the intention and core necessity for such a game to be included in a curriculum is.
ಏನೇನು ವಿಚಾರಗಳನ್ನು ತರಬಹುದು, ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಆಟೋಟಗಳನ್ನು ತರಬಹುದು, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮುಖ್ಯ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಏನು ಮುಖ್ಯ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಹೀಗೆ ಹಲವಾರು ವಿಷಯಗಳನ್ನು ನಮ್ಮ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಜೊತೆ ನಾವು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಅವರು ಒಂದೇ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಹಾಗೆ ಅದೇ ಆಟಗಳನ್ನು ಅದೇ ಅನುಭವಗಳನ್ನು ಹೇಗೆ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟೇಟರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೂಡ ಅವರು ಅದನ್ನು ತಮ್ಮ ತಮ್ಮ ವರ್ಕ್ಶಾಪಿಗೆ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು, ತಮ್ಮ ತಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಹೋದ್ವಿ. ನಾಟಕದ ಮೂಲಕ, ಅನುಭವದ ಮೂಲಕ, ಆಟೋಟಗಳ ಮೂಲಕ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಅವ್ರನ್ನವರು ತೆರೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಈ ಅನುಭವನ ಪಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಮ್ಮ ಆಶಯ.
It was such a pleasure to the sort of energy that they are taking into schools, especially government schools. And after hearing a bit about the vision with which this program has been started by Nirdigandha, I am feeling like putting in any contribution from my side has been my honor, and this opportunity has been an incredible one.
I need this. And that is something you should use in your facilitation also. Let's see, with some, there will always be some. Muslim.
I'll just tell you, extending a simple story in this children's theatre. There is a Panchatantra story which says, a lake is dying, and two cranes, the birds, they decide to fly away to another lake. And there is a tortoise which says, "Arey yaar, you have lived with me for so many days, take me too." And it's a very talkative tortoise, and the two birds say that you're a very talkative guy, we can't take you. "No, I'll not talk." So they hold a stick, and these two hold the stick and fly, and the tortoise catches hold of the stick and they are flying. And as they are flying, as it is, as you know, the character of a tortoise, he tries to say something and he falls and dies. That was a story told to children. So this whole play, I'll just play a song of that after this. So we talk about tortoise coming and, in a musical way, coming and going and talking to children, being a very talkative fellow, with the children coming back, and the cranes are saying, "Come, we have to start a play." And then it introduces himself, that he is such a fellow. He was a fastest, he got a best runner award against a rabbit. Then he introduces his friends, the two cranes and the fishers, and they all happily play in the lake, and they say, "This is where we live, this is where we grow." And then we see human beings coming and throwing things into it, dust into it, trying to build buildings into it, and plastic. And finally the lake is dying, and the fishes say that we don't know anywhere to go. And the tortoise says, "I can go both sides, but there is no water here nor land there for me to go." And the cranes want to leave. He said, "I'll come, please take me." "No, you should not talk." "No, I'll not talk." So as they fly, there are human beings who look up. We continue the story. They look up and say, "Hey, look at this, yeah, these two cranes are flying a tortoise." One fellow says, "No, a tortoise is flying a crane." And one fellow says, "No, the stick is taking the crane and these things." And this tortoise, instead of, he should have stopped unnecessary conversation. He wants to talk, he falls and dies. And the stage is empty, and they say it died. And then the tortoise comes back and talks to the children and to the people. "I'm not dead. I don't die because I have a very strong back. So when I was falling, I fell on my back. But what is dead is your lakes, your rivers. You accuse me of talking, but I survive. Your lakes die because you're not speaking. You're not talking." I'll just show you that song. It's a small, to show how we have made it. It's not pictured, but little photographs. But I want you to listen to the music. And this song, they go to the children and sing. Just play that song. Huh? Oh, it was not compatible. Okay. So this is how we are working on script. For the 7th, 10th students, we talk about Ozil. Ozil, the great footballer who was a Turkish origin. So it's directed by a wonderful director from Kerala, Arun Lal. This whole project has been directed by 4 different directors from 4 different states who have common thinking of children's theatre. So he talks about Black Balloon, a new play has been written, wherein he talks about the balloon flies not because of its color, but because of what it is within. So we have brought in a game of football into the play, and a child who wants to play football without a jersey is not allowed. And how he gets a jersey of Ozil. And then Ozil comes in his dream and says that we are all Ozils, you know, we have to grow, we have to fight. And what is important is enriching ourselves. So like this is what the children's theatre is. And now we are having a workshop in March to create resource persons to conduct 10 different spaces in Karnataka, summer camps in May, where 10 new plays for theatre for children will be curated and brought back, so that we, to the literary world, we will be giving around 10 theatre plays. So it's an ongoing thing. And I think it is our responsibility, instead of just giving speeches to the children, to those children, you know, that's what Isaiah says, that Khalil Gibran says, the whole theatre project is not to tell children, you know, to give them enough strength to their wings and let them fly their horizons. And these are a lot of dreams, which is, I think in the last KLF, I had said that I'm thinking something like this. And this is the new passion, this is the new just asking, this is the new politics, this is the most liberating relevance I have found in my journey as a person. That's Nirdigandha for you. Because we have little time and he will wind up, and I'm open to any questions so that we have another interaction.
Yeah, let's open it up for questions if anyone wants to ask. Yeah.
Hope I gave you a picture of what we are doing today. Yeah.
Hi, sir. Nirdigandha, that means growing beyond horizons, right?
Nirdigandha, because
Nirdigandha. See, the question you are posing is not only from the point of view of Kannadiga, but from the point of view of other states as well. So, don't you think, like, going beyond the horizons, it should also reach other states as well? Because most of your first play, that is Weeping Wound, right? If I'm right, The Weeping Wound. That play was taken from many poetry, parts of poetry from Kannadiga poets. Don't you think it should be from poets from all over India?
You're very right.
And artists from all over
see,
India.
now the Nirdigandha Telangana is ready because I have a farm there. The structure is done. Now what happens, Nirdigandha Karnataka is that land, that stories. Now I have one space in Mahabalipuram and I'm one man, little money, I understand. And Nirdigandha will extend to other states too. And we are also working with, now the very fact that I'm bringing Kerala director, Telugu director is to curate them, is to tell them this is happening so that they will find sources here. Because if I have to do something in Kerala, finding a place of a 5 acre land is not important. The soul is more important. So now they are going to work out, they are going to bring the students here, the stories here, the thoughts here. Similarly, in Telangana, we have already started. There is a group which comes to Nirdigandha Kannada because I had to start a model somewhere. And for me, because it is my mother tongue. Today, whatever language I speak, my perception comes from the literature, the exposure my mother tongue exposed to me. So it was easier for me to give a clearer picture. This is the dream of Nirdigandha. We have a state theatre festival now. Then we are taking off a national theatre festival. We are trying to find different people, telling them this model. I can't do it, I need. So we are in search, you are right, and Nirdigandha means horizonless, it will be horizonless.
Thank you, sir, thank you.
Hi, Mr. Prakash, thank you so much, well done. I just wanted to know, is this a school also to perhaps school minds to have? Is this a school also to school minds to have a strong voice, even dissent, and perhaps also grow a spine?
It is not a school, but they are taught there. Okay, now we have another in Feb, because there is another workshop which is happening. So we are having a Russian from Flynn group, which is across the country, from Belgium, from Germany. They're great talkers, and they are coming down for a residential workshop, and they have offered us 6 workshops for others. To all of these people, no, how do we take criticism? How do we take when we are creating? Because now creating a play, creating a film is not just, in today's times, it is not just one man's thought process. We need together work. What would that be? What would be the career workshops? So this is for the resource persons too, and writers, lawyers, people. I want them also too. And for your question of creating minds, I think exactly that's what we are doing. With the actors, see, it is not just that we actors are telling children. There should be something. Now this 40 children, 40 youngsters, boys and girls who was doing 1 year of school theatre. They are trained, they are not only going that, they, by every individual has enough script, enough content to go to a school and make a living with the diploma, whatever he has learned for the next 10 years. So that's exactly what we are trying to do, but we are trying to do it in a more organic way, more surer way, and that has come through my experiences. It's no, and I'll tell you, my passion to acting is so much. I want to be on stage, but I've told Nirdigandha, the next 2 years you will not see Prakash Raj on stage, because until and unless I take a stand, I am a facilitator. I'm going to stand behind. I'm going to look into accounts. I'm going to make it happen. It is not going to be mine. And the workshops they are doing, there's so much to learn. I cry within and say one role on stage, but I have just held back because that is more important today, not me. Yeah.
And I think I would like to add something to this, that the first production, Gayagalu, when it was taken to universities and colleges, it is not just about dissemination. It is not about going and presenting something. There is a continuous interaction. And when they come back, they also bring back these ideas. They also bring back these responses. It's not just that, look, we have put up a play and we are doing this and watch and go home. So that is not there. Similarly, even with the idea of the schools, there is a continuous feedback. There is a continuous interaction, which is what makes it very lively and contemporary.
It is designed something like that. When I had adopted villages, we used to have a medical camp. I said, you have one medical camp in a year that doesn't work. So I had one for the children, one for the women, one for the pregnant women, one for the elders. And then we understood the health card of the village. We gave them, we had a health card. Some had malnutrition, some had pregnancy problems. 3 months later, another camp to know what is the growth of it and what has to be forwarded. So we had 3 camps. Likewise, this troupe, once it travels, performs, there's enough script, curriculum for 3 months. Then there is a resource person team which leaves after 3 months to the schools already visited. And we again have an orientation for the teachers and then sit with the children and take it ahead. So it is a continuous process through the year. And I think that's sort of a commitment, that's sort of a clarity we need to do for the humans to grow. Yeah. Any more questions? Is somebody for the next session already here? Before they kick me out.
No, we have some time. Yeah, yes, please, here. No, okay.
Thank you. We came here basically for the next session.
Okay, sir.
But I'm so glad that we were able to listen to you for the simple reason that children are the future of this country. And what you are doing is really, really great. But the issue is, how do we make this succeed? And you have said you're going to stand back and make sure implementation takes place. And that is what this country needs to learn from you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Implementation is most important.
Most important. Yeah.
And what you are doing needs to go beyond India to the world, which you are already doing. And I'd like to say a big thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So empowering.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Evening. Sir, I'm a great admirer of your acting, and I also arrived here by mistake, waiting for Mr. Shashi Tharoor. But I would love to have a pic with you as a memory for the years ahead. Is that possible?
What a way to ask a pic. I'll come there and give you a pic.
Thank you.
And I'll make Shashi Tharoor be jealous.
Okay.
I'll say, I am also popular in Kerala, not only you.
No. I am not from Kerala. I am from Mumbai. So you're very popular there also.
But I want to tell Shashi I am popular here too.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, there is a question here. Can you please give the mic to this lady?
Hi sir, my name is Anu. I just want to ask this question. Theatre as a form of art is not as appealing to the larger masses as compared to other forms of art such as cinema. So my question is twofold. One, what do you think should be the relevance of the art form? And second, and what are your ideas to create a space in theatre that would appeal to the larger masses?
See, asking a simple question is that theatre being such a powerful media and now it is out of fashion, it's not reaching people. I'm not interested in those excuses. When I know my theatre, my expression, its richness is impactful, I'm not taking it to audiences anymore. I'm not making shows, I'm not worried about the ticket money I'm going to get. I'm not worried about the reviews. I'm going to the children. I'm going to the youngsters. I am giving them a little empowerment so that they get enriched. And I'm sure, if I'm there or not, these thousands of children will empower theatre stronger.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So here we go. And I think we are coming to the close. I want to tell you, and Nirdigandha, what it is doing is not only be there. So in another 2 months, you will see it on your YouTube channels, in social media. You will have accesses to the voice library we have created. And we will see to it that it is translated into things. So through that, reaching you also, and your responsibility, your way of life would be either to get inspired or create something which is similar to, or keep spreading the word.
Thank you, Prakash, and thank you.
Wonderful,
for being with
guys. Love you all. I'll see you in the evening session at 7, where you'll have little bombs coming at. Thank you.